All right, here we go. Day two of the Mindful Miles Masterclass. So happy to be here with you guys. I just gotta say, I finished yesterday's class and felt like I was just ready to run through a wall. I went out on my run and I had so much fun, and I was just feeling so grateful for this community, and just for everything. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But let's talk a little bit about today's topic. So we are going to talk about the two tweaks that I have made in my running to run my furthest miles, well, furthest distance, fastest miles, and my happiest and healthiest ones as well. But I see we have some people coming in. There you go, Sarah. Team Life, she already knows. So let me know if you guys are here in the chat, similar to yesterday. I have some questions that I want to ask you first to make sure that we are setting the stage, that I know who's here. So please comment, let me know, Team Live, that you are here, so I can see the number of people who are here, but I can't see who's in the room. So it's really helpful for me to see everybody. So we've got Sarah, we've got Lauren, we've got Megan, Natalie, people tuning in from all over. I'm so grateful to all of you guys, and I'm super excited to be here with you. So while we're letting people roll in, continue to let me know if you're here. I want to let you know that today, if you read my email earlier, I'm going to be sharing a bit of my personal story with you guys. My story with running, how I came to be a runner, and how I came to be a coach, and how I'm talking to you guys today. But first of all, for everyone that's in the chat, thanks for joining, guys. Same prompt as yesterday. I'm going to give you one of three things. Please let me know if you are team 1, 2, 3, or any number of anything. So I want to see a number 1 in the chat if you have ever been hard on yourself. If you would say, I am my own worst enemy. If you're someone that, like I said, you're super hard on yourself, you know you should maybe be a little nicer, a little gentler, but that's just who you are. You're just a tough person, and you know that you want the best out of yourself, and sometimes it's a little too much. So number 1, if you're too hard on yourself. Number 2, I want to see a number 2 in the chat. If you currently have ever had a bad relationship with food. And so this can be, you've tried every single diet out there. Maybe they've worked, maybe they've not worked, maybe they've made you feel like crap. You've tried diet pills, you've tried the intermittent fasting, you've done whatever it looks like, and you're one of those people that you're like, I just have no self-control around XYZ, chocolate cake, cheese, pizza, whatever it is. So 1, if you're really hard on yourself. 2, if you've got or have ever had a bad relationship with food. And 3, if you have any limiting beliefs when it comes to the way you view yourself and the way that you view your own ability. And so let's talk a little bit about limiting beliefs and what those are. So a limiting belief can look something like, I wasn't made to run. I am not able to run. I don't think that I am smart enough. I don't think that I am capable enough, whatever that is. So it's negative self-talk. Callie, yes, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you for your honesty. So I want to see those in the chat. Let me know if you're 1, 2, 3, all of them, whatever it is. The reason that I ask today is because I have been all 3, as I give you 4, I have been all 3 of those things multiple times throughout my life. So let me take a little step back with you guys. It is a personal story. I usually have tons of notes prepared. I'm a very type A person, and I have no notes prepared today. I'm just gonna riff and chat with you guys and be super real with you. So I, as many of you know, have been a runner my whole life. I am originally from New Mexico. I was very fortunate to have wonderful, wonderful coaches that introduced me to running. I was one of the best runners in New Mexico, which afforded me to go on to run competitively at the collegiate level out here in New York. And oh, my shirt, it's different running distances. As I like flash you guys my chest. But yes, it's different running distances. So anyways, I have always been the type of person that I love running. I'm super competitive. I want the best out of myself. I want to be able to give myself everything, myself, my team, my coaches, whatever it is, my bosses. I just want to show up. I want to be the best friend, girlfriend, whatever. If you guys sympathize with that, please let me know. And for me specifically, I look back at my competitive running career and always say and feel that I never got up to my potential. I never was as good as I thought I could be because I was so hard on myself. I could never get out of my own freaking way. And it caused me to have a horrible, horrible body image. It caused me to have a really terrible relationship with food. And it caused me to be so hard on myself that I couldn't enjoy running. My performance suffered from it. I was injured all of the time. And I just, the way that I thought came out in my performance. And what I thought, what you guys think, I always say this to my athletes, your mind is your biggest muscle. So what you think, you are conditioning throughout your entire body. And so for me, I had to learn this the hard way. I thought negatively of myself, so I ran poorly. And maybe other people didn't think that, but whatever. That's my truth. And so after college, I gave up running completely. I was super burnt out. It was really hard because it wasn't something I loved. I didn't have a coach telling me what to do. I didn't have a team to show up for. And so I took probably about a year off of running. And I'm sure I gained weight. I don't own a scale because I don't believe in it. That's another story for another day. I don't own a scale, but I'm sure I gained weight. I was super unhealthy. I was going to the doctor all the time. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. My mind was just not in a good space. And so I eventually decided to return to running. And this is the topic of today. So I decided to return to running, and I knew that I wanted it to be on my terms and for me. But I've only ever ran for a coach or for a team. And so I didn't know what my identity within running was. And so I set two ground rules. I'm going to take care of my body and I'm going to have fun. And so this leads me to today's talk. What are the two tweaks that you can implement today to run your best, your happiest, your furthest, your fastest miles ever? One, make sure you're having fun. And two, make sure you're taking care of your body. And so stick with me, guys. I know these seem very surface level. We will dive into it. I will kind of break down for you what each of these things look like. But the one thing that I want you to ask yourself, when it comes to running, when it comes to working out, whatever it is, and this is my philosophy when it comes to, my coaching practice, is like we talked about yesterday, time goals, distance goals, weight goals, all those are great. But make sure they're milestones. Make sure they're not the destination. Because your entire life, you should continue to ask yourself two things. Am I having fun? And am I taking care of my body? And if you can say yes to both of those things, then you're in a great place. For some people, running is seasonal. I know tons of people that are like, in the summer, I love to run. In the winter, I don't like being cold. So I lift weights, or I get on the bike, or I cross train. And that's fine. Do you. I run year round because I love running. You don't have to be like me. All you have to do is answer those two questions. Am I having fun? And am I taking care of my body? That's all we want to care about. So let's talk about the first one, having fun. What does that look like? So I want to see specifically in the chat, guys, if you have ever gone out on a run and decided before you even got your shoes on, before you even got out the door, this run's gonna suck. Oh, I'm so over this. Nope, not gonna be a good day. So let me know if you are team self-sabotage. Let's see it in the chat. If you've gone out on a run and you look at your watch and you're running a lot slower than you normally do or you want to, let's hear it. Let's call this one Team Slowpoke, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So this is a lot of us. And so what I'm going to suggest you do here is think about the last time, if you're a parent or if you have kids in your neighborhood, or the last time when you were a kid, you saw them running around on the playground, you saw a kid running down the street having a fun time. What do you think was going through their mind? It was either run fast because someone's chasing me, or I'm having fun. I don't know. There was nothing going through their mind. It wasn't, oh my God, I wonder what I look like. I wonder if that person that I just ran by thinks I look terrible. I feel so fat. I feel so slow. Like, no, kids don't think that. They get from point A to point B, they have fun, and they move on. And so that's what I want you to think about. The next time you're going out on a run, try to think about being a kid again. Can I enjoy this run as if I were a child? And so I know some of this kind of feels like maybe a little like elementary, but stick with me here. Can you go out on your run and not care? Not care what you look like, not care who you pass, who you see, what your time says, because you're just there to have fun. You're there to fuel your body, feed your body, whatever it is. Give it a try. Next thing I want to know from you guys is, and I'll be very curious to see what your answers are here. When you go out on runs, do you have a watch or an app or anything that's giving you real-time feedback? So if you do, type Team Watch in the comments. Specifically anything that, if you check your times, if you check your pace, if you check your distance while you are running, let me know if you're Team Watch. If you do not, put Team Naked in the chat. So if you're running, no phone, no feedback, no watch, no nothing, Team Naked in the chat. Let's see, Jesse's Team Watch. Yeah, we've got a couple of Team Watches coming through. Yeah, Garmin, I love my Garmin too. Team Watch, yeah. It looks like everybody is Team Watch so far. And that's great to a certain extent. But because we live in a society where we are constantly getting notifications, we are constantly getting feedback, all we know is to compare. So to compare to the runner that you see across the street, the person that you saw on Strava, the run you had yesterday, whatever it is, all we know is to take this information and process it emotionally instead of just as a fact. Like, I don't know, a 12-minute mile, that shouldn't be an emotion. That should be a fact. That's just a number. It's not you're good or you're bad, but we interpret it that way. So I'm going to, everybody watching this today, you're going to hate it, but I'm really, really, really going to encourage you to run for at least 1 week with no watch, with no feedback. And if you're someone that, you want to have that, that's fine. Don't look at your watch. I do this all the time. Anytime I feel myself getting too hard on myself, I'll put duct tape over the face of my watch. Or if you run with your phone, turn the notifications off. Just do it. Like, it's going to, especially my Team Watch people, I get it. My Team App people, I get it. You want that feedback. It's all you've ever known. So the first couple of days, it's going to feel really uncomfortable. It's maybe going to be boring. Yeah, Team Competitive, I see you, Megan. But give it a shot. Give it a true week minimum and see how you feel by the end of the week. I promise you, you're probably going to feel a lot lighter. You're going to feel a lot better. And that's just something that, when you can pull out that judgment, that self-talk, that these arbitrary rules that we make up in our head, that's when you get to kind of see what your body's actually made of. Because we all have an idea of how far we can go or how quick we can run a mile. But when we stop putting those rules on ourselves, that's when we see what we're actually capable of. So you need to get out of your own way to see what you're capable of doing. So that's it. Just go out, have fun, no expectations. I'm going to enjoy this run. If I'm not feeling good, I'm going to walk, or I'm going to slow down, or I'm just going to call it a day and try again tomorrow. Have no expectations. Have fun. Continue to tell yourself this. Before we move on to the next topic, I will leave you guys with this lasting thing that I always tell my athletes, and they always laugh at me when I say it, and I get it. But when you are in a negative headspace while you are out there running, working out, lifting, whatever it is, if you feel yourself getting hard on yourself, I want you to say, and I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy for this, but I want you to say out loud, we are having fun. Because if I were there with you as your coach and I saw you run by me, I'd be like, Kelly, we're having fun, girl. Lori, Megan, we are having fun. And you guys would be like, oh, you're crazy. You'd roll your eyes, but it would make you laugh. And so that's the purpose, is one, speaking out loud to yourself with no one around, or maybe people around, you're gonna feel a little nutty. Um, but it's one of those things that it's going to snap you out of that mundane, you know, that mundane energy that you're in, because you're gonna be like, okay, I just talked out loud to myself, and I just told myself that we are having fun. It's literally just me here. I don't know who we is, but I guess we're having fun. And I promise you, you're gonna laugh at yourself. You're gonna make yourself smile. And if you can smile on your run, then you're like, yeah, shit, yeah, we are having fun. Sorry if try not to cuss on these. But just remember, like, we're having fun right now. I chose to be here. I chose to do this. We're having fun. And give that a shot. It's going to feel a little weird, but again, that's what we're here for. We're here to feel a little weird. Let's move on to rest, recovery, proper fuel, all of those things. I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday in day one, but guys, an active body needs more rest and food to fuel your performance and recovery. So I want you to think about this as the big picture. You need sleep, you need rest, you need fuel, you need hydration, you need all of these things. And it's not just today, it's every day. So if today's a rest day, and I want to see this in the comments, and please be honest with me. Do you feel like on rest days you need to eat less, or you should be eating less? Let me know. Do you think that on rest days you should eat less than you do on normal running days? And it's, sometimes it's, yeah, I know I should eat more, but maybe I shouldn't. The way I want to explain this to you guys, and the way I will describe it, is you have to look at your training as an entire week. And each day you are putting a building block onto your training. So Monday, maybe we're starting here, and by Sunday we want to be up here. So sorry, all the comments are coming in at like random times, so it's getting, yeah, recovery is terrible. Sometimes I do think that, yeah. Okay, anyways, sorry guys. This is what happens when I don't show up with notes. I want you to think about your rest and your recovery as training. It is part of your training, because if you show up, if you don't take care of yourself today, let's say today's a rest day for all of us, and we have a workout tomorrow. If you don't eat enough today, if you don't drink enough today, if you don't sleep enough today, your building block is going to stay here. You're supposed to be here tomorrow, but you're starting from this level. And so the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to perform at this level, and then your body's going to be so depleted it comes back down to this level. And so this is why maybe you're tired all the time, maybe you're hungry all the time, maybe you're sore for 3-4 days after a workout, or you start workouts and you just don't feel like you have much energy. That's because you are not taking care of yourself after the workouts, before the workouts, on the rest days. Hard days are not the only days where you should be allowed to eat the carbs and the pasta and the pizza. Every day you need the carbs, the fat, the protein. You need the rest. You need the fuel. And so let's talk quickly about sleep and rest. So a lot of people will say, I got 8 hours of sleep last night. That's great. But if you are counting the time that you are in bed, just know that that's the absolute minimum amount of sleep you're going to get. A lot of times we have these trackers, take them all with a grain of salt, but know if we're in bed for 8 hours, you probably got 6, maximum 7 hours of sleep. So if you can prioritize sleep, great. I know you guys all have a ton going on in your life right now. It's not your job to be a professional runner, and so sometimes 9 hours, 8 hours of sleep isn't possible. But just make sure that you're conscious of the amount of sleep you're getting. Make sure that you're getting enough rest. So when can you kick your feet up? When can you elevate them? Because elevation helps with, swollen legs and inflammation. If you guys followed me on Instagram, it's at Mindful Miles Sarah. I shared something today specifically on elevating your legs. So check out that post. But when can you do that? When can you implement your physical therapy exercises, foam rolling, drinking enough water, fueling? So all of these are really, it's self-care. Drinking enough water is self-care. If your pee's not clear, you're probably not hydrated enough. So next time you go to the bathroom, check it, drink some more water. But think about it all that way. Rest days are tough. Yeah, Beth Ann, rest days are tough for a lot of people. And if that's it for you, how about active recovery? Can you do yoga? Can you go on a walk? Can you journal? Can you stretch? Can you do PT? There is no shortage of things that you can do on rest days, but you have to reframe your mind to know just because I'm resting doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. Doesn't mean I'm worthless or, what, again, back to the self talk, whatever that is, we have to make sure that we're reframing those thoughts, making sure that your mind is stronger than ever. Maybe you don't have none of us have the time in our day to train like professional athletes, but we have enough time to be able to condition our minds to think like professional athletes, to want more out of ourselves. So give that some thought. Next, and we're already almost at time, so the last thing I'll leave with you guys is the types of foods you should be implementing into your plate to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. So what does this mean? For my athletes in here that know me, you guys know I am an intuitive eater. I will never tell you what you can or can't eat. I will never tell you what type of diet you should try, what type of, vegan, not vegan, vegetarian, whatever. That's not me. I think that everyone should eat what they love, but they should learn how to implement the things that they need to support their lifestyles. So what can we add to your plate instead of taking away? And so when you think of it this way, at every single one of your meals, you should have carbs, protein, and fat. Every single one of your meals. And so a lot of people feel like they cannot eat carbs. Or if they do, it has to be after a hard workout or a long run or very limited. And if this is you, let me know. Let me know if you're also feeling the same way about carbs. If you're like, yeah, carbs are the enemy. Carbs are the enemy. That was an Austin Powers quote, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But, so, why are carbs important? What carbs do specifically is they help build your muscle, but they're also going to lower your cravings. So if you are someone that gets to the end of the day and you are starving, we call this hangry, or if you have runger, and you're someone that's like, I'm fine all day, but at the end of the day, all I want to do is eat an entire chocolate cake, or someone that, I hear this all the time, I have no willpower around X, Y, or Z. It's because you're not getting enough carbs in your diet. Megan wants to know what kind of carbs. Yeah, that's a great question. So carbs look like bread, pasta, fruits, beans. There's all kinds of different carbs. And we can chat a little bit more offline too, Megan, if you want, about what that looks like. But all of those things are super good for you. They're going to help limit cravings, and they're going to help build your muscles. Next, for protein, what I want you to do is, again, what this does, protein boosts your metabolism, which is great. Who doesn't love a boost in metabolism? But it also aids in muscle recovery. And so what we all know protein's important. We're not too sure why. So what happens when we run, when we lift, when we do any sort of workout, we're tearing apart our muscles essentially. And so what the protein does is it goes in there essentially and it fills those gaps, and it's going to help build your muscles up. So if you are someone who's not eating enough protein, this can look like, again, constant soreness, constant fatigue. Maybe you're just super tired. And protein specifically, you can have about 20 to 30 grams per serving, which is usually about 1 or 2 protein scoops, a fistful of, any option of things. But I guess protein specifically can look like cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, any type of meat, things like that. And that's what we need in order to continue to aid your muscle recovery. So the carbs build the muscles, the protein recovers the muscles, and what do the fats do? Because everyone's like, I need fat. Yes, you need fat. And what a fat? Great question, Natalie. What kind of fats? So fats can be something like cheese, nuts or nut butter, avocado, olive oil, any of those things. And what fats specifically do is they're going to reduce inflammation and they're going to reduce stress in the body. And this is so important for athletes because although we love running and it's great for our mental health, it's great for our physical well-being, running puts a ton of stress on your body. So by having those fats, that kind of helps combat it. And so if you're cutting out cheese, you're cutting out, nut butter, no, all of those things, then you're going to see more inflammation. You're going to feel like more stress in that body. There's going to be much more going on. So you're not going to be able to really properly recover. When we talk specifically about pre-run and post-run snacks and meals, think I always like to say for your pre-run, you want something that's going to have carbs and fats, not necessarily protein. So that can be a piece of toast with nut butter, some applesauce. Things that are high in sugar are really great because they get into your blood system and they help your energy levels. And then post run, I'm going to say 20 to 30 minutes after that run, you want to have something with protein in it. If you're not having a meal, if you're having a meal, then of course we want to hit those three buckets, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats. And then, so 20 to 30 minutes if you're having a snack, and no more than 2 hours, like 2 hours is the max after your run, is when you should have a meal with, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats. So that's pretty much all I've got for you guys in terms of rest and fuel. I know that was a lot. You're always welcome to replay this. You're always welcome to message me with questions. As I mentioned back yesterday, it's already been a day. As I mentioned yesterday, I am offering a freebie to anyone who's interested in coaching. So if you're interested, just comment Mindful Fam. I'm giving out 2 weeks of free coaching in addition to, any type of coaching program that works best for you. Let me know. And if you guys have questions, I'm going to quickly scroll through the comments to see if anything came in. Feel free to add them again at the bottom. Just give me 1 minute to see. No problem, Annie. You can join Team Replay. I think rest days are hard for me. Yeah, I get it. And make sure you guys too, one thing that I'm really going to advocate for, which I never used to do, is eating before runs. So I used to always eat on empty stomachs. For those of you that may or may not be on a weight loss journey, you've probably heard multiple times that running fasted is super good for you. I'm not going to get into that, but I am going to say if you run with something in your stomach, you're going to have more energy, and that's going to fuel your performance. If you're not used to it, it can be very hard. So start with something light, maybe half or a quarter of a banana, some applesauce, and just kind of see how you go, see how it feels. It's a lot of trial and error, so it could be a little tough, but give it a shot. You're gonna find that you have a lot more energy when you have something in your system. But I'm not seeing any other questions come in, so I will let you guys go. I appreciate you all so much. Tomorrow's our last and final day, and we're going to be talking about everything you need to stay motivated, to limit that negative self-talk, to find your mantras, to find your why, to figure out what fuels you so that you can do this for the rest of your life and actually enjoy it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye.